Welcome back to the Hall of Origins. We're going down the NES hallway, so let's take a look at one of Nintendo's classic characters. Palutena, the goddess of light and ruler of Angel Land, as well as patron deity to the main character of her franchise, Pit. So let's go back a few decades and see where she got her start. Okay, not decades, but more like centuries, because we're going way back for this one. Alright, so back in ancient Greece, there was a mythological being who was given the title of Goddess of War, Wisdom, and Crafts. This mighty warrior of the old world was named Athena, or by her full name, Pallas Athena. There are multiple accounts as to how the name Pallas became connected with her. One being that she accidentally killed her friend Pallas during a sparring match and took on her name to honor her. To another being Pallas was the name of a giant that she slew and took on its name afterwards. Now, the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because Palutena was more than likely inspired by the goddess Athena. This is more evident when her full name, Pallas Athena, is used, whereas you could see, by putting the two names together, you get Palutena. Okay, we all got that? Cool. Let's go back to the 1980s. So, Palutena made her first appearance in 1986 in the original Kid Icarus for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, from the instruction manual, we learn in the backstory that the world of Angel Land was ruled by two goddesses, Palutena, goddess of light, and Medusa, goddess of darkness. Basically, Palutena watched over the humans while Medusa despised them, and, as she does, turned them into stone. Because of this, Palutena transforms her into a monster and banishes her to the underworld. However, she came back and captured Palutena and imprisoned her in the palace in the sky, thus leading to everyone's favorite Pixel Angel Boy to go on a classic NES quest in order to save her. After Kid Icarus, otherwise known as Pit, defeats Medusa, we get to see Palutena for the first time. Depending on how well you did in the game will result in a different ending, such as giving Pit the new position of farmer, or making him a full-grown angel. There's even this alternate ending that only appears in the Japanese version, where it's the worst ending, and Pit gets turned into a speck nose, which is one of the enemies that you fight throughout the game. It should be noted that this is also the same enemy we see Mario fighting when he's playing Kid Icarus in the movie. I mean, look, you get a better ending by collecting things throughout the game, and this happens when you collect virtually nothing. But come on! It's like, he still saved Angel Land, not to mention the goddess who is in charge of Angel Land. Like, I don't care how many things he collects, it's like, don't turn someone into something like that just for saving you, you know? Yeah, maybe it's a good thing they cut this from the American version. Palutena would make her next appearance a few years later in 1991 in the Game Boy Classic Kid Icarus Myths and Monsters. In this new adventure, Palutena is turned to stone by a demon called Orcos. So naturally, Pit needs to do what he does and defeat Orcos to transform her back to normal. And well, after that, not much happened. Like, for a long time. As in, like, 16 years. However, when Super Smash Bros. Brawl was on its way to the Nintendo Wii, the main source of information was the Smash Bros. Dojo website. And on Pit's page, where we were introduced to his brand new moveset, a little section caught everyone's eye. Pit's final smash included an updated design for the Goddess of Angel Land. Palutena's overall look didn't change too much from her 8-bit appearance. It was mostly just redone with modern graphics, but keeping the overall feel. The biggest change was her shield. In the past, her shield was a reflective style weapon that was the length of half of her body, but with this new design, it appeared much smaller and attached to her arm, but still keeping the reflective look of the old days. By activating a Smash Ball, Palutena will appear in the background of the stage and many Centurions will fly across the screen attacking the other players. And in the story mode, the Subspace Emissary, we see Palutena for the first time as a 3D rendered character. Following the events that take place on the surface, she gives Pit his bow and tasks him with going down and lending a hand. Luckily, we wouldn't have to wait long this time to visit Angel Land again, because Kid Icarus Uprising came out just a few years later. And before its release, the anime studio Shaft created an animated short for the Nintendo 3DS video service. It was titled Palutena's Revolting Dinner. In this short, Palutena wants to create a vegetable dinner for herself and Pit because she believes that he eats too much junk food. But she accidentally puts too much potion on the carrots she's cooking, and all of them gain consciousness and start attacking her. Which leads to a whole bunch of hijinks of the carrots going around causing turmoil for Palutena. And if you're wondering why Pit isn't around to help her, it's because she sent him out to get more ingredients. But once he's on his way back, she gives him even more to find so he doesn't find out how much she messed up.
Wait, don't come back yet! Huh? I need another ingredient. A vegetable with dazzle, sizzle, pizzazz. How about a squash?
Squash? I'd swear I saw some in your kitchen.
Pit, I see all, and I don't see any squash here.
Okay.
However, things take an even worse turn when the carrots get a hold of the potion and use it to transform other vegetables into living objects. And they get together to form a giant veggie kaiju monster. But it is revealed that the secret to defeating them is to just get them wet. So Palutena summons a swirling maelstrom to make it rain and revert all the veggies back to normal. Overall, a funny little short. Something not to be taken too seriously, but just to have a good time with. I wish they would actually turn this into a full anime series. That would be awesome.
We are going out for dinner.
But moving on to Kid Icarus Uprising, Palutena mostly serves as an advisor to Pit as he plays the levels.
What is that thing?
That Great Reaper must be the one who's hidden Pandora's Labyrinth of Deceit. This area is split into 2 levels, so just switch levels depending on how it attacks.
You say that like it's easy.
That's because it is easy.
Some of the interactions are pretty funny, especially when they break the 4th wall and harken back to the original game.
Hey, look! Check it out!
The 3 sacred treasures must be inside.
The box is really held up well.
It is less pixelated than I remember.
Things take a turn later on when the Chaos Kin takes control of Palutena's body and Pit has to do battle with her. This results in her soul getting separated, leading to the next battle where Pit needs to defeat Chaos Kin to save her.
Pit, I'm so relieved you're okay.
So it didn't take long for Palutena to pop up in another Nintendo franchise. Yes, Super Smash Bros. Was coming to Wii U, and one of the new fighters announced was the Goddess of Angel Land. And her magical moveset was a great addition to the game. And a very cool feature was added to her home stage. If you play as Pit, you can activate Palutena's guidance. And just like in Uprising, Palutena will give Pit advice on the opponent he's fighting.
You know who this guy is, don't you, Pit?
Of course I do! It's Mario!
He was your first ally in the fight against the Subspace Army. What you may not know is that he's actually quite famous. There aren't many people who don't know who Mario is.
Man, I don't know whether to fight him or ask for his autograph.
Fight first, fanboy later.
Oh, do you think he'll sign my wings?
So let's talk about voice actors. Palutena spoke for the first time in the Revolting Dinner short. Her voice was provided by Ali Hillis. She would reprise her role again in Kid Icarus Uprising. However, due to scheduling conflicts, she was unable to voice Palutena in the Smash Bros. Games, so Brandy Kopp became her new voice actress. So, it's now 2025, and for Palutena, this is pretty much how it is now. There hasn't been another game in the series since 2012, and Palutena is more associated with Smash Bros. Than Kid Icarus. But hopefully the Kid Icarus franchise will continue on soon, and we'll get to see the Goddess of Light in her original games with her own brand of humor.
I have no idea what he's saying.
He's like, "Yar, I'll make ye walk the space plank, scurry dog." That's just a loose translation.